Okay, so for today's video, we're going to be kind of covering a topic that we've already covered in regards to, crime that's been happening in San Francisco and across the states, like Chicago and everything like that. But in particular, San Francisco is having a lot of issues with car break-ins, a lot of smash and grabs, people driving by, breaking the back window, hopping in, stuff like that. We've had clips like this.
When he saw a person driving and another hopping out to break into cars at Fisherman's Wharf. This is on North Point near Powell Street. And you can see the person in the mask hop out of the white Lexus and peek into cars at metered spots. Some they break into and others they don't. We can only assume that they saw nothing inside to take. And we can count the cars they hit up. This white SUV is the second one in less than 30 seconds. And look here, you can see the man reach into this blue SUV where it looks like there is someone inside. There's a hand right there and you can hear someone screaming.
However, I just came across this video and it said first arrest made in the bait car campaign. San Francisco's PD renewed effort to prevent vehicle break-ins. So I figured, let's see what they've done.
New data shows criminals break into 55 cars every single day in San Francisco. But a new strategy by police is bringing that number down. Good evening. I'm Amma Dates.
And I'm Dan Ashley. Thanks for joining us. Here are the latest pictures viewers have sent to the ABC 7 News I-team of car burglaries that they spotted or in some cases suffered themselves.
SFPD says the number of car break-ins is down 5% from the same time last year. And they
5%. I don't remember what the last video's numbers were, but I don't know how good 5% actually is.
credit the use of bait cars.
Yeah, and the I-team's Dan Noyes is here with more on the first arrest in this latest bait car campaign, Dan.
Well, Dan and Amma, police sources tell me any arrest using the bait car will have a big impact. That one criminal typically breaks into several cars in a single day. But you're about to see, even with an arrest, sometimes it's not long before they're back on the street. This couple from Indiana won't be coming back to San Francisco anytime soon.
It's just sad. It's sad to see what used to be a beautiful city come to this.
Dan and Linda Olagus were headed to a wedding in Sonoma County last month, but they stopped to tour Alcatraz prison.
And you saw Alcatraz? How was it?
It was awesome.
Fabulous.
We're in a great mood after we saw
There you go.
Alcatraz. I mean, you need to open it up again.
You could use it for something.
Oh, shots fired at the people that are stealing stuff. Yeah, I guess that would be prime time for somebody to hop into their car when people are out on cruises, or these people are just parking their cars in these lots because they need to go, to a restaurant or something like that.
They left the tour boat and walked across the Embarcadero to this parking lot. They thought their luggage would be safe in the rental car. But they joined the 15,357 other people who have had their cars broken into so far this year in San Francisco. They lost cash, a $1,200 iPad, and a $3,500 laptop. The police left a note telling the couple to come to Central Station. They had recovered their luggage.
But they basically told us that, is there a chance for us getting our computers back? And they said, no, your computer will probably end up in either Vietnam or another Asian country.
That happened on a Friday. Just 3 days later, the iPad pinged this location in Vietnam.
Oh, wow. That moved quick. Like, if they're stealing it and then sending it to Vietnam, how much money are they actually getting for the item that they've stolen? What is the purpose of that?
8,836 miles away. And that laptop containing Linda's work as a photographer was long gone.
Oh, that
I
sucks.
thought I was going to hyperventilate. He was probably the strong one in this case because it was just devastating for me.
Police say they caught the man responsible for the Olaguses break-in, 26-year-old Robert Sanza of San Francisco.
26.
The criminal complaint alleges on that day, September 1st, he broke into the couple's rental car, another rental car, and a San Francisco Police Department bait car.
They may be breaking into cars that are put out there by the San Francisco Police Department.
The police chief announced the new bait car campaign the week.
What the hell? So you're telling me San Francisco is putting money and resources into either purchasing used cars or old cars or some sort of vehicle that would entice people to break into, and then just leaving them out there so that these guys would get baited into breaking into them. It sounds like such a poor idea and a waste of resources.
Before Sansa's arrest, I was there in court last week when he pled not guilty and set a trial date, and I've been researching Sansa's court records in several counties.
Holy
Over the past
smokes.
5 years, Sansa has been arrested more than a dozen times. He has convictions for car burglary, grand theft, hit and run, shoplifting, and more. He was on probation at the time he's accused of breaking into the Olaguesis rental car. Robert Sansa has also been accused of evading arrest on several occasions, trying to drive away but slamming into cars, causing injuries, and putting anyone on those streets in danger.
So you're like, this is the problem with this whole bail reform, or this like catch and release program, is you have people like this idiot who already has a rap sheet of multiple things that he just did in this one day that he got caught. He's got a history of it. He's got a record of it. But instead of keeping him off the streets, even though they're maybe petty crimes or low risk crimes, he's still been caught multiple times with this, and all they're doing is putting him in jail for a bit and then releasing him on bail. So stupid.
February 2nd of last year, police responded to the Japantown garage for a report of an auto burglary. Officers tried to detain Sansa as
So just a year ago, these guys caught him, and he's back out on the street again.
the suspect, but he fled, got in his car, ran over an officer's foot, and hit a parked car. Less than 3 months later, court records show that police tried to arrest him in North Beach.
God. In the same year, they had caught him again. This is so stupid. What kind of system is this? You're not helping any of the people that are your citizens. You're not helping this guy learn anything because he clearly can realizes that he can commit a crime and get out. And yeah, he may have to do a little bit of time, or he may need to pay a little bit of fees, but he'll be out doing crimes again, no problem. And then he's just a menace to society.
He was driving a stolen vehicle reportedly used in multiple car break-ins that day.
Of course.
The police
makes sense.
Sort of trapped him. This is a one-way street. They trapped him down there.
Neighbors watched as Sansa hit the two patrol cars, drove onto the sidewalk, and took out this staircase.
And suddenly the whole house starts shaking. And my wife starts yelling, "Someone just hit your Vespa."
His Vespa was destroyed. He had to replace it. The complaint says Sansa hit another patrol car a block away, injuring an officer. Sideswiped another house. He made it to Columbus and...
Look how much property damage that one guy had already created, plus he injured people, plus he put so many people's lives at risk with a moving vehicle that you can consider that being a weapon. And sure, he didn't kill anybody, but he quite frankly could have, especially with this destruction that he's causing. So he must be going at high speeds. Like, this is such a stupid system.
Broadway, where he hit a civilian's car, injuring them. He left the car and ran into Chinatown, where officers finally arrested him.
God.
At first, prosecutors charged Sansa with several counts of assault upon a peace officer with a deadly weapon, hit and run, evading an officer with willful disregard, and a misdemeanor, possession of burglar
And he's still
tools.
out.
In a plea deal, all the charges got dismissed, except for a single count of evading an officer.
I am pissed. There's no way a person doing all of that damage should be let off with just evading.
Sansa got out with time served in that case, a little over 6 months in jail. The police union president tells me deals like the one Sansa got do little to prevent future crimes.
Yeah, no
Why
shit.
is it that, we continue to give, breaks and passes to people who just really are just showing they do not want to do the right thing?
Exactly my point. If you clearly see that this person isn't willing to do anything different, they have a history of it, you know that this person has a rap sheet, what is the purpose of letting them out or giving them a light sentence?
That same news conference announcing the Bait Car campaign, District Attorney Brooke Jenkins promised to prosecute car break-ins more aggressively.
That's what we are trying to reinstill in San Francisco right now, is that not only will you be caught, but when you are prosecuted, there will be a consequence for that behavior.
Like
That's
what?
a
You'll
start
be
for
out?
Dan and Linda Olegas.
Does it mean anything at all that the police were able to catch your guy with their bait car? It worked. I mean, their law enforcement technique worked.
It does, but then, let's see what happens to this guy. Because, it wasn't his first rodeo. It's a professional job. What are they going to do? Slap him on the wrist and let him out in a couple months?
Robert Sanzo's public defender declined to discuss his current.
Of course you would decline. What a ridiculous story. Oh man, this infuriates me because we have the same thing happening in Canada where we have the same amount of people, especially I think it's the stats are something like in Vancouver. It's the same 66 people that have caused like over 4,000 crimes because all they keep doing is getting sentenced and released, sentenced and released.
And that is making Canadians less safe. Because of Justin Trudeau's policies, I'm meeting police officers who tell me that they arrest the same offender in the afternoon that they've arrested in the same morning. And so they arrest them in the morning, take them in, and that offender gets catch and release bail under the Trudeau policy, and they're back out on the streets doing more violence by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They have to be rearrested again. That consumes police resources. It puts people in danger. Bail should be for people who are at very low risk to reoffend and not for violent reoffenders.
And it's just like this not tough on crime bill that people seem to think is the good way to go.
Failure of the system to not support people who have committed crimes, gone to jail, served their sentence, and then they're committing another crime. So is this not a failure of things like social services and support for people who have committed crimes?
Are you serious?
I'm asking you a
question.
question.
I mean, are you serious? Come on. You're telling me... No, excuse me. Let me answer your question. Are you honestly saying that it's society's fault if a repeat violent offender commits 60 or 70 offenses? I think that criminal is to blame for his own actions. He is personally responsible. We're not talking about some kid who made one mistake when he was 19. We're talking about people who do 60, 70 violent offenses.
Why do those people
and then they're... because they're criminals.
But why are they criminals?
Because they do crime.
And why do they do crime?
Because we let them out early on bail.
So because they
I think we've solved the riddle here.
Because they got let out early on bail.
That's right.
They then commit the crime.
That's right.
So
that's what all the experts agree is the cause of the crime.
So had they stayed in jail the whole time on bail in jail, not on bail as you say, they would then not commit crimes.
Because they'd be in jail, so they couldn't commit crimes.
And when they get out at the end of their sentence, they're crime-free?
Well, we can't guarantee that, but what we can guarantee is the period when they're behind bars, they will not be able to do crime.
I don't know. These repeat offenders and all that stuff, they need to be locked up, especially if they're going to be causing chaos like this. But as always, I'd love to hear your guys' opinion, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.